So today is yet another day working on our cantilevered floating staircase for the entrance of our house. Tell them the plan. Okay. So today we are working on the reinforcements for the top half of the staircase up here. And we are gonna do a fun little experiment once we're finished. So stay tuned, let's get started and hopefully finish the staircase in this video. Let's party. All right guys, so check it out. Here is our staircase right here, turning out really good. Pretty happy with the results so far. So in the last video, if you guys missed it, we worked on reinforcing the back of this C-channel and adding one more reinforcement to the bottom of the staircase. So basically what we're going to do, we already added the reinforcements in the back over there. You can see it peeping out over there. So now what we're going to do is pretty much replicate these guys up here. So we have one, potentially two that we'll put right here. And I think we are going to put 3 on the bottom. 1, 2, 3. We got the tubing that we're gonna be working with, so this is great. So basically what we'll do is get all the materials that we need to work today, plasma cutter, welder, all that fun stuff, and jump right in. We have to fabricate some plates, some anchor plates, so we can connect the tubing to the concrete wall over here, and then we just have to weld everything together. So hopefully it'll be pretty easy. Don't want to jinx it though. So let's get rolling.
First up, we have to clean up the area where we are going to be working today, because after weeks of working on the stairs, it's accumulated a lot of dust, debris, and dirt. So definitely have to clean that up first. Next up, we busted out our tried and true DOVOH self-leveling laser levels to take some measurements and mark where we will install the reinforcements for the stairs. These lasers are incredible and we use them all the time. I'm going to mention this now because I always get a lot of comments about this. The stair treads are not completely finished yet. We are going to be installing something on top of the steel stair treads that is much wider, so the stairs will be built to code. Stay tuned because we have something really special planned for that. I'm going to link these self-leveling laser levels in the description for you guys. They are really amazing and so helpful for a really wide variety of projects and applications.
So right now we are taking the measurements on how long these reinforcement pieces, the steel tubing has to be. Using the laser levels down there makes it super helpful, super easy to kind of like line everything up and mark where everything is supposed to be. So yeah, super helpful tools to have.
After we got our measurements, we brought the steel over to our little fabrication station and got everything set up to cut them to size.
here we go.
After everything was cut, Viant cleaned them up a little bit with the angle grinder.
Oh, geez.
Anywhere like in this square, I should be good.
I welded the steel tubing to the anchor plate that I cut out of our leftover materials. We always try to reuse our excess materials whenever possible, and this was the perfect opportunity to use the extra C-channel we bought for the stair stringer.
Walk the plank. All right, this is pretty wild right here. Normally that only does that when it's like smoke or dust or something, but
You can see it here, like the heat from the weld can like warp the air and distort the laser going through.
yeah. But I just welded that, so it's a lot of heat is coming off of it, and I think it's affecting the,
Yeah, they move so, even the move, yeah, they just move.
wow.
Wow.
So I got the first reinforcement cut and welded to the plate. Viant is marking where we are going to drill it into this concrete ICF wall right here. And then we're gonna weld it up there to the stair structure.
Work in this, and up there. Yeah.
Viant cleaned and prepared all the areas where we will be installing the reinforcement anchor plates and the tubing using the angle grinder and a resin sanding disc. We use these all the time and they work really great on a wide variety of materials. After everything was prepped, Viant drilled holes into the concrete ICF wall where the anchor bolts will be installed. We set up the laser level to make sure everything was straight, and then attached the anchor plate to the concrete using Tapcon screws. Okay, first reinforcement installed. Now it's time to rinse and repeat and do this a few more times. We are using this leftover C-channel from the stair stringer to create more anchor plates for the reinforcements. One man's trash is another couple's stair stringer. If you'd like to see the story about how we got the scrap C-channel for our stair stringer, check out the first video in our floating stair playlist. Laser, laser, laser.
Let's try to make it between these two.
Once the anchor plates were finished, we used the laser levels to help us take measurements for the next two pieces of tubing we need. So far, these two pieces of tubing are the only things we purchased new for the stair structure, and actually for our entire entrance structure. Every other piece of steel in the staircase and the entrance of our container house has been from our leftover materials or from the surplus steel yard. This has allowed us to save tens of thousands of dollars in the long run. Once we finished cutting the first piece of tubing, we set it aside and repeated the same steps for the second piece of tubing.
All right, so we finished cutting the 2 pieces of vertical reinforcements over there and right here. Now we are going to weld them to the plates that I plasma cut out of the leftover steel, and then we will install them. So step by step. Also, it's a little bit chilly today, so that's why I'm all bundled up.
Same as before, Viant is drilling the concrete wall where the Tapcon screws will go, and then screwing down the anchor plates with the Tapcon screws. After the screws were in, I welded the tubing to the bottom of the stair structure to tie everything together.
Okay, so we got the bottom reinforcements in. These 3 guys right here. It went pretty smooth. Pretty happy with how that's going. Now we are going to work on the reinforcements that are going to be on the top part of the staircase. So that's next. Hopefully that goes as easy as those went.
Okay, now it's time to do the top reinforcements. First up, we used the laser level, what a surprise, to mark where we want to install the tubing, and then took some measurements so we can cut the tubing to size. Since these are not going into concrete, we don't need to fabricate any anchor plates. So in theory, these should be a little quicker to install.
So we are making progress with the reinforcements of the top half of our floating stairs. It always just takes a little bit of time to get all the measurements and make sure everything is lining up well before we go and cut it and weld it in. So Viant's taking the last measurement. I'm gonna come over here to the little plasma cutter station, cut the last 3 reinforcements, and weld them in. Pretty exciting.
But first, a word from today's sponsor. If you're looking for a compact, but capable e-bike, this is it. This is the ENGWE Pro 2.0, a foldable e-bike that's both comfortable and powerful. It collapses for easy transport, which eliminates the need of having a bike rack, and also makes it super easy to store. With a 1200 watt peak motor and up to a 68-mile range, this e-bike has the power to take you pretty far and go up hills easily. The ENGWE Pro 2.0 has a built-in torque sensor. When applying more force to the pedals when you need more assistance from the motor, the bike will automatically adjust the level of power assist based on how hard you are pedaling, providing a more natural riding experience. There are a few things that make this bike extra comfortable to ride. The full suspension is one of the best suspension systems we've ever tried, and it makes the ride super comfortable, even over rocky and bumpy terrain. The 20 by 4 inch fat tires and hydraulic brakes also make the ENGWE Pro 2.0 a pleasure to ride on all types of terrain. A few other features that make this bike next level are the bright LCD screen, the rear rack that can hold up to 55 pounds, the headlight and brake lights, and the coated wheel rims. The ENGWE Pro 2.0 is the perfect e-bike for anyone looking for comfort, convenience, and capability. The suspension makes this bike super fun to ride. The ability to fold the bike makes it really easy to transport and store. And the 1200 watt peak motor makes it capable of handling hills and various terrain.
Be sure to click the exclusive link in the description or scan the QR code if you're interested in picking up this ENGWE e-bike or any ENGWE e-bike. They offer a lot of really great options, and there's definitely a bike for everyone on there. So check out their website. Holiday season is right around the corner. They would make a great gift for someone else or for yourself.
Special thank you to ENGWE for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get back to it. So we are doing the same process as before: measure, mark, cut, clean, and weld.
So that never really takes me that long to plasma cut stuff, but I'll tell you what does take absolutely forever is waiting for the friggin' air compressor to finish compressing air. Lose so much time waiting for it, especially when we paint. Time to weld. Let's go. Okay, so we finished the floating stair structure. That's all done. Now we are going to change gears. Up at the top of the stairs, we have the landing that goes onto the 3rd level of our container house. And that's what we're gonna be working on next. So we need to kind of go over the measurements, take the measurements, and figure out a game plan on how we are going to tackle the landing. So stay tuned. Okay, now the fun part. Time to remove the bracing. Stairs, we did the floating stairs, and they're turning out so good. What do you think? Do you approve? You think you're gonna be able to make it up the stairs? We're gonna build a special ramp for you if you can't. Or a little elevator. What do you think? It's nice? Gonna have to train up the stairs once they're done. Good job. Okay, so if we go up the stairs, this is what we're working on next. So I think what we're gonna have to do is remove our little protective layer right here, because we are going to have to build the landing right in this opening right here. So the landing will be here. I'm at the top of the stairs, so it'll come up here, and then that will be kind of like the entrance to the 3rd level. So with that being said, let's get started on the landing. Ooh. I'm a little crazy looking after a day of construction. Okay, so we made a plan of action for our landing up here. We have some leftover tubing from another project that we did. We're just reusing all of our scrap materials on this floating staircase. Anyways, so we are going to use a little bit of the leftover material, and then we have some new material that we were combine the two to create the framing basically for this landing and go from there. So Port Viant has a lot of cleaning with the grinder to do tomorrow. Not so fun, but necessary. And then we will work on fabricating all of the tubing to use as the framing for this landing.
The yellow I-beams. Memories, memories. These guys accumulated a little bit of rust while being exposed to the elements. So Viant cleaned them up a little bit before we started installing the landing for the stairs. Crazy to look back on how far we've come. Check out the entrance structure playlist if you want to see the full journey of the yellow beams, okay?
The bottom one or the top one?
Bottom one. So let me see. 1 second. Alright, so now.
Oh, you're in the frame of the laser.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are making progress on the landing. So we have everything marked, and pretty much now we are going to do the frame of the landing out of some steel. So we have all the measurements. We're gonna go down to our little working area down there and cut the steel to size, and then come back up here and weld it in, and then cut a piece of plywood and boop, plop it on top.
So in order to have the plywood level, we'll have to notch out about a 1/4 inch here on the edge, so they can sit on the lip of the I-beam. And now I'll just mark like where I have to cut it. That will be way faster than to actually take the measurement.
got all of the pieces that we're gonna use for the framing of the landing all marked and ready to go. So what I'm gonna do is get the plasma cutter running, cut out this little notch in all of the end of them so that we can place them on the I-beam and then weld them all together. I know I've said this like a million times over the course of our floating stair project, but these lasers really are an absolute game changer when you need to line everything up and make sure everything is going to be installed at the good spot. We use them all the time. This one right here has actually most of them come with a magnetic mount, so we use it often. Just stick it to the wall and then you can adjust the height to set it where it needs to be.
And we can see that this tube is totally level. Okay, good. Just time to weld it now.
Nice.
Once everything was cut, we got straight to work on welding all the tubes in place. We need to install some perpendicular tubing along the edges so we can screw down the plywood. So, time for another round of measure, mark, cut, clean, and weld. I guess we have now evolved from grind, weld, paint, repeat.
That took some time. We're pretty tired, it's pretty late, but check it out.
And guess what? That just passed the weight test.
Pretty solid. Looks pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Incredible. Not even a flex, nothing.
Yeah. Really happy with how it all turned out. It's pretty late, so we decided that tomorrow we are going to cut the plywood to put on top because we're pretty tired. It was a really long day for us. And that will be it. So stay tuned for plywood time. Hello, it's a new day, and today we are going to be cutting the plywood for the top of the landing. So let's get started and get it finished, and we'll show you guys the stairs. The final reveal. Oh, look at that. Wow, that turned out amazing. So we notched out that little area where we have the support for the I-beam, and it fits perfect. Super solid.
And it's not even screwed to it, so as soon as we screw it, there will be even more on jet.
Yeah.
But that will be for the next video.
Yes. So the landing is all set. We do, as Viant said, need to screw it down, but we need to paint all the steel first. So that will be for another time because that's a lot of work. But it came out great. Super happy with it. That's not going to be the final look. I think we are going to do some self-leveling concrete on the top for the final look, but that'll be for a later time because we have a long way to go before we are ready to do that. Okay, so as you can see, we finished most of the structure for the floating stairs, and now we're gonna do something fun little experiment that we did in the last video. We're gonna use this piece of wood right here and measure how much the end of the stairs flex when they have weight on them. One of us and then two of us. So stay tuned to see the results. So here are the results right here. Basically, I took the first measurement with no weight on the stairs, and then I stood on the stair towards the end and took the second measurement. So let's see the difference. So this one is about 1/8, give or take.
This one even less.
Yeah, a little bit less than 1/8.
And this one, yeah, way less than 1/8.
Yeah.
And this one, we were 2, so let's see the first, it's not even 1/8, and after a little bit over 1/8. So it's kind of consistent, and even when we are 2 on it, It's almost like no flexing, so like 1/8 is almost nothing. So this is great.
Especially for about, what is it, like
350, I guess.
Yeah, 350 pounds, it only flexes about 1/8. So that's about the same results we had for the bottom half of the stairs. If you missed that video, check out our previous video about the floating stairs. That's when we did the first experiment, and now this is the second experiment. So pretty sweet.
Great.
So it has been a very long journey to create these floating stairs for the main entrance of our container house. We're still not finished with the stairs yet. This is not the final stair tread. There's going to be something on top of it, and we'll have a railing, and there's a lot more to develop with this staircase. But the structure is in, everything is good. We're pretty happy with the results. It took a lot of hard work to get to this point, but I think it definitely paid off. If you guys didn't know already, if I didn't mention it, this was our first time ever building floating stairs, our second time ever building stairs, period. So pretty proud with our progress. We learned so much in this project, and we'll definitely carry over that knowledge into our future projects. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. We always appreciate all of your likes, shares, and comments, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Help support our channel by leaving a comment, liking, and sharing this video. As always, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to keep up with our projects and adventures on Pacific Pines Ranch. We put out new videos every Saturday and sometimes even during the week, so be sure to subscribe and hit the notification button so you don't miss any. Okay, bye.